Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, we are from Group 6. Let's introduce our member. The first Siti Syarokah, 2 Dwivita Nuraini, 3 Emma Aira Warjani, 4 Sabila Rosyada, 5 Nurmawati. Today we will discuss about getting back home point C and D. The first point C, conversational practice. Thinking about a problem and seeing a good side, memikirkan masalah dan melihat sisi baik. The first, thinking about a problem. I was so shocked how bad the air pollution in Jakarta is. 2. I also could not believe the fact that people are smoking everywhere. 3. I think the city that we live in has fallen to a very bad inflation. Other ways to express thinking about a problem. In a case like this, I think the root of the problem comes from 2. In a situation like this, we should act calmly. 2. Seeing a good side, melihat sisi baik. Example, let's not be drowned in it. We can still take the positive side of our situation. 2. The reality that we are facing means that this world is dynamic. You know? Other ways to express seeing a good side is at least we are safe. 2. Although we are not rich, we have a happy family. 3. I failed the test, but I got a useful experience of how the test looked like. Next is task. Work in pairs and use the phrase about to think about problem and see a good side. Use the situation below. You work in an international company and get a good salary. Your company is in a difficult situation and cannot pay for its employees' salary and debt. Although you are a good employee, your company still fires you. The answer is, in case like this, we must deal with it calmly. Don't be too careless. In my opinion, we can think and plan something that can restore the company's finance. 2. The situation is, the election to choose the new governor is nearing. There is a rumor that all the candidates are practicing a money politic. The answer is, in a situation like this, we should act calmly. Rumors circulating are not necessarily true. We must really look for accurate facts, because usually those who make rumor that the new governor candidate is politicking money are people who don't like the person. So we have to calm down and keep taking the positive side of them. 3. The situation is, Indonesia is said to be a maritime country. However, the volume of fish export is still below the target. Hence, many fish are being stolen by fishermen from neighboring countries. The answer is, in case like this, I think the root of the problem stems from the theft of fish in the seas of Indonesia by neighboring countries, and the reason why there is still a lot of fish theft in our country is the limited facilities and supervision infrastructure, limited funds or monitoring operation, limited fishery police personnel and civil servant investigator or PPNS. Fishermen's ability is still limited in Indonesia in exploiting potential fisheries in Indonesian waters. Number 4, the situation is, teachers are paid very little to educate students, but TV stars are paid very high to ruin students' morality. The answer is, I think this problem is not based on the pay they receive, because teachers' job is to educate students and not all TV stars destroy students' morale. We can still overcome this by providing a spectacle that is appropriate for the age of the students so that their morale is well maintained. Number 5, the situation is the government encourages and pushes the young generation to study hard as well as be creative and contributive for the development of this country. However, it seems that the government never fully appreciates the creation of its people. The answer is, in a case like this, I think the community must continue to work hard in order to prove their efforts. And for the government, it is better to respect how much the people's efforts are. Point D is grammar focus relative clause. We use relative clause to give additional information about something without starting another sentence. A relative clause always modifies a certain noun. Relative clause is also called adjective clause. Perbedaan adjective dan juga adjective clause itu yang pertama, kata sifat itu berada di depan kata benda. An adjective usually comes in front of a noun. Dan adjective clause itu mengikuti noun. An adjective clause follows a noun. Example, adjective, I met a pretty girl. Pretty is adjective, girl is noun. Example of adjective clause, I met a girl who is really pretty. Girl is noun. Adjective clause, that who is really pretty. Simply, we use relative clause join to English sentence or to give more information about something. Example, the following conversation illustrates two returns. Returns just got home. The following conversation illustrates two returners who just got home. The noun is two returners and adjective clause is who just got home. Relative clause typically follow a group of connecting words called relative pronouns. They are who, which, that, whose, and whom. However, relative clause sometimes also follow question words such as when and where. Example of relative clause that follow when and where. The first, the city where I live is just a small city. The city is noun, and where I live is a relative clause. 2. I still remember the time when she came. The time is noun, and when she came is relative clause. Next, task. Fill in the blanks with correct answer. First, the university blah 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 I completed my master's degree was La Trobe University. The answer is that. Okay. The university that I completed my master's degree was La Trobe University. Number 2, this concept, blah blah blah, I believe is based on an empirical study, will get an acceptance from educators. The answer is which. This concept, which I believe is based on empirical study, will get an acceptance from educators. Number 3, the professor blah 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 Ricky met last week died in a car accident. The answer is who. The professor who Ricky met last week died in a car accident. Number 4, the tallest building blah 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 on the 6th Street is the famous Burj Khalifa. The answer is which. The tallest building which on the 6th Street is the famous Burj Khalifa. Number 5, Ronnie Esteller blah 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 work is never appreciated, is the inventor of electric cars in Indonesia. The answer is whom. Ronnie Esteller, whom work is never appreciated, is the inventor of electric cars in Indonesia. Number 6. I do not remember the moment blah 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 I first met you. The answer is when. I do not remember the moment when I first met you. Number 7. The songs blah 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 was sung by Sandy Sandoro was nominated as the best solo song of this year. The answer is which. The song which was sung by Sandy Sandoro was nominated as the best solo song of this year. Number 8. I cannot believe I found the classic book blah 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 had been missing for 200 years. The answer is that. I cannot believe I found the classic book that had been missing for 200 years. Number 9. I admire a person blah 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 would you people interest above his own interest. The answer is which. I admire a person which would put people interest above his own interest. The last, number 10. Don't worry, the place blah 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 you won't spend your vacation is just 2 hours away from here. The answer is which. Don't worry, the place which you won't spend your vacation is just 2 hours away from here. Okay, enough for discussion, and thank you for your attention. See you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.